Hi, welcome to Haven. This is a podcast that's a safe space for curiosity and conversation. I'm your host, Haven, and I am still curious. Are you a good dad? And this is the second part of the episode. Are you a good dad? So I'm only laughing because it's Albert's fault that I have to do this again. Because you can cut to a wide shot of us. We had one episode prepared.
Yes.
And we kept yapping.
Yes.
And we made it too long.
I don't know how.
No, but here we are giving a second intro. And they're going to have to put this. And then the next thing we're going to talk about has nothing to do with this.
Sure.
It's a sharp edit that's coming up for our listeners. But we were asking the question, are you a good dad? So if you haven't listened to the last episode, you got to pause this and go back because you're going to be like, who is this guy? What's happening right now? And I introed him last time and he gave his bio. We're not going to do it again. We're literally going to go from this to whatever we were talking about in the other episode. But is there anything else that you'd like to add before we do this hard edit?
It was a conversation that has been a long time coming. And so I am not surprised that we had so much to talk about. So I'm looking forward to just diving in and just getting to it.
Yeah, maybe if you came on a year ago, we could have done it shorter. But since it took too long, we're just making it like to make up for lost time.
That's right.
Right?
That's
okay.
Right.
Without further ado, midway through whatever conversation we were having in the last episode, here we go. What I'm hearing from you a lot too is like it's these deposits. Mm-hmm. These daily things. Like it's the consistency. It doesn't have to be this huge gesture moment. Like it's the showing up and being present and attuned and involved, which I feel like I think you said it's not difficult. Mm-hmm. It does seem simple. Mm-hmm. Like when you put it that way, it feels really simple. It's, am I in this moment?
Correct.
With my family.
That's right.
And I like even because it's not always even parent and child. It's parent and kid and kid. Mm-hmm. So I feel like even sometimes an aspect of like great fatherhood is it's not all about you to the kids.
That's right.
You know, you don't rule my world. Correct. You're a huge part of it, but we were a family before you came.
That's right.
And so what does that look like of fatherhood, of tending to your wife outside of the kids?
That's a great question. I'll put it this way. In addition to the daily deposits, we decided to take a trip just down to the San Diego area. And
all four of you?
All four of us.
Okay.
And we stayed at this hotel and we just literally stayed there the whole time on the property, swimming and just having fun. And we did this activity that I like to call flowers for the living, which is a phrase that I grew up with my mom saying a lot around funeral time when we would go to a funeral and then she would say, flowers for the living, guys. And I would look at her and say, what does that mean? And she says, well, why do we wait until somebody passes away for us to then give them all these flowers? Why don't we do that when somebody's alive? Why don't we say the things that people say at funerals? Why don't we tell them that when they're alive? So that stuck with me. And I told my family, hey guys, on this trip, we are going to do something that I'm going to call Flowers for the Living. And so we, one day, we dedicate one day to one member of our family. So we started youngest to oldest. And so we started with Hudson. And throughout, I told the family, hey, think about what you would say to Hudson if this was the last time you would ever see him. And then immediately Parker's like, well, that's kind of downer.
She's like, I'm on vacation, man.
I'm about to go swimming. That's messed up.
Yeah, I'm in a lazy river, Dad. Okay.
But I said, have that in the back of your mind because at the end of the day, we're going to huddle around and we are just going to share what we would say to that person, in this case, Hudson, what we would tell him. If this was the last day we'd ever hear, if this was the last day that we would ever see him. And so, enjoyed the day together. And then at night, he just sits there on the bed and then we're kind of around him. And then we just take turns just pouring into him about all the things that I found that what we ended up saying were, here's all the things that I'm thankful for about you. And then here's all the things that I would miss about you. And then you just see him just filled with so much love and appreciation for the words that he's not one to sob, but you could see like the tears starting to come down in his eyes. And at 9, for him to be able to have that emotion and to just allow it to sit with him was huge. And so we did that for one day. And then the following day was Parker. And so we poured into her as well. And then it was Christine and then myself, for days 3 and 4. And I tell you, Haven, the things that we were telling Hudson and Parker, which did impact them and it moved them to tears, was not nearly as impactful to them as them hearing the words that Christine and I were sharing to each other. And when we were starting to share about all the things that we would miss about each other when it was our turn to talk about, like me for Christine or Christine to me, you could see the kids really impacted by that. And which got me just really convinced that if you want to be a good dad, you got to be a good husband. That's it. Like for me, it's they need to see that relationship thrive if they want to thrive themselves. Like if you want to see a healthy, thriving family, well, you gotta have a healthy, thriving marriage.
I'm pausing internally because it's so touching. There's just so much of what you shared. Like the concept of flowers for the living and instilling, not just thinking, yeah, that's a great point, Mom.
Yeah.
But how am I gonna live that out? And leading your family through that and dedicating a day, like that to me is profound. But then also to hear from a kid that it wasn't most impactful what you said about them. It was them seeing their parents' love for one another.
Yeah.
And their connection.
Correct.
And how safe that makes a child feel. And how it also taps them into something bigger than them. I feel like it's so great. It's not just all about what my family's going to miss about me or whatever.
Correct.
It's they have this bond that's bigger than me, that's safe for me to go back to.
Yeah.
And I think that's so tender of, I would not have guessed that that's the piece that would make them most emotional.
Yeah.
But then I think growing up, you do want that for your parents.
Yeah.
Like you don't think about it because you're a kid, but like to be like, oh my gosh, Mom and Dad like have a love story.
Yes.
And they have each other is a safe part of childhood.
Correct.
That's a safe, like foundational, like bedrock is like that floor will never fall out under me. I feel like any kind of family where it's like a broken home or divorce, it feels like the foundation under you fell down and you broke through down to a basement. But for a kid to be like, no, this is what I'm standing on, that's not going anywhere. I feel like it does give them so much freedom and confidence to try things in life. Do you know? Like, I feel like that, I think you're so right of a father's role also is to like, tell them what you miss, tell them what you love, but it's to visibly show them this is what a marriage looks like. And this is what love and sacrifice and care looks like. What are some of the things that you said about Christine?
I remember just really being in that moment and thanking her for just all of the memories that you build. When you aren't conscious of it and you actually take the time to be reflective and think back of all of the years that we've been together and all of the memories and all of the growth that I saw in her. She's done an amazing internal work to be where she is now. And I was so thankful for that. And I remember just thanking her for who she was, how she inspired me, how she was so accepting of every part of me that even I'm still trying to work through, but she's so like gracious about it. And then I started going into all the things that I would miss. I'd miss all the things that, all the ways that we laughed and all the memories. I started going through just all these wonderful memories that we had. And I would miss holding her hand. I would miss her kiss on my forehead before she goes to work. I'd miss all the ways that she just hugs me from behind when we're in public, or I'm starting to get emotional just thinking about it. But yeah, it was for our kids to be able to see that and to know that the love that we have is real, and that it's not just something that we are blessed to have. It's a work. It's something that you choose to do. It's something that you choose to be a part of every day that allows your marriage to grow. And then because they see that this is simply not by chance that they have the mom and dad that they have, it's that, oh, behind the scenes, they're, without me knowing as a kid, my parents are making really profound choices to be in a space where peace just emanates in our home, and to be in a space where mistakes are okay and you can be silly. But all those things, like you said, have a foundation. And for us, it's for Parker and Hudson to see a healthy, thriving marriage is, I hope to be the greatest legacy that they will remember about mom and dad. Yeah.
And I think even as you're talking of like, maybe even an aspect of being a good dad is just, are you a good person out of not just the dad role? Because I know some that like,
Sure.
I'm an amazing dad, but they treat their wife like crap, you know, or I'm an amazing dad, but I kind of lie at work, or I'm an amazing dad, but yeah, I probably drink a lot. Like, can you section that off, or is it integrated? Does being a dad come out of the aspects you're willing to address in yourself and show them? You know, what would you think about that of someone who's like, I don't know, outside of fatherhood, if I'm who can really determine good person? But do you know what, do you understand what I'm trying to ask?
Yeah. For me personally, I don't see how you can identify yourself as in the realm of fatherhood to be good in that one area of I'm good with my kids, but that's a hard space to be in. And I would imagine that that's filled with a lot of internal conflict of I'm good with them, but then why is my marriage not thriving, but my relationship with my kids is? That's just a really tough spot to be in. And I think there needs to be a dropping of pride in that sense. There needs to be just an open heart or some sense of humility in knowing, okay, I need help in this area, or I need to better myself in relation to my work, in relation to my wife. The part about you that seems to be lacking needs to be addressed, or else you can't really, again, that goes back to, am I living a life that is attractive or appealing to my kids? Well, if they see that, well, you're kind of shady at work or whatever, then that's not really giving them something that is worth emulating or worth looking up to. And that's something I've noticed in Aaron too, is I really love almost the peace that emanates around him. And especially when you guys are a family unit, and just from afar, we don't get to hang out all too often, but I do really appreciate when I see the four of you that there's just this, what I look for in whether it's a healthy situation or not is body language and eye contact from the kid to the father. And so even from afar, those are the signs that I look for. And when I see Isley just like really happy and looking into the eyes of Aaron, like that is huge. Like that's how you know. And even from afar, I can tell that brings such a strong sense of fatherhood, of safe, healthy fatherhood. And even in our conversations, just how he's not reactive, like quick. He's not quick to overreact to anything. It's just, that's what I really admire, the fact that he is so like patient and so observant, and then will speak wisdom into areas after he's had some time to think. It's not just in the heat of the moment type reactions, level-headed. And those are such strong qualities to have when you are trying to lead a family.
I would so agree. He is so thoughtful. Like, and he isn't like knee jerk. Anytime like I even go to him for advice, he has a wise, sound perspective. But I like that you mentioned about the body language and eye contact. I never thought about that, but Isley totally is like that. We went to go visit him early at work one day, and I had to realize I have to pick and choose doing this, because every 5 seconds she goes, I'm just going to go give Daddy another hug. And she would run over there, or he'd pass by him. She goes,
Love
Daddy,
that.
hug Daddy. Like, and she just kept flagging him down for kisses and hugs. And I said this once and I regretted it. I wanted to say, hey, like Daddy's working. He really needs to focus. But I was like, your hugs are more important than work. Like,
Correct.
I don't want to put you in a position where I'm telling you his work is important.
Yes.
I'm just going to bring you at a point where you can distract him for 10 minutes.
Yes.
Not the hour that we're here early.
Correct.
You know, like that's on me, girl. Like, that was my fault. But she just, it was the most important thing in the world is just go and lavish her love upon him. She wasn't thinking. She never, ever thought Dad would be too busy for me. And he never, ever dismissed her. He never said now's not a good time. And I knew
That's
it
huge.
wasn't.
Yeah.
Like,
No, that's huge.
I could visibly see, oh no, like he's trying to focus, but he never put that burden on her, and he never rejected her. And so when I think about like Aaron, I've shared this, I think even a couple times on episodes, but it's the most poignant aspect of his fatherhood. Is in the morning, I'll always get up and go to the gym during the week. It was just like, it's my me time, and I'll come back, and usually they're still asleep. Sometimes they're up early, and I'll come back as we're having breakfast, but I'll like check the baby monitor to see like, are they asleep yet? Like, how much time do I have for this steam room? So when I pull it up, and if he's there, it's the most tender thing to listen into, because it's for no audience. It's literally who he is, one-on-one with the kids.
Correct.
And it's so kind, and it's so silly, and it's so thoughtful. And like, I almost feel like, oh my gosh, it's so inappropriate. I'm just like eavesdropping on you. Like, I'm not trying to violate, but also this is so tender. And I'm like, this is who he is. No one else. And you also talk about the, aspect of, integrating I'm not a good dad, but, and even the relationship at night. He's the one when kids are trying to come out of bed. Hey, this is mommy and me time. Like, we need this time. This is not time for you. You need to go to bed. And like, now it's in their heads of like, oh, it's going to be daddy mommy time. Like, I got to go to bed, or like, am I interrupting daddy mommy time? Like, he set this precedent of, this is important for us. This is important for our family. And he's also kind of crafted the vision to them about that.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah. And what I love about that is that it's done in a way that is not threatening to Isley or Echo. It's hey, try to understand this, because this is important to us. And again, going back to, they need to see a thriving, healthy marriage. If this is the step that it takes for them to acknowledge that, then it's okay. It's worth it. Then it's okay. It's easier to receive that when they can see the benefit of the result, which is you guys connecting, you guys having one-on-one time to chat and just do all the things. But that's really important as a child. It brings a lot of safety and security knowing that it's not just, again, it's not anything that I'm doing that they don't want to be with me. It's they need time and they're prioritizing this. This is worth it.
I love that. And now that we have split this episode into 2 parts, we're laughing because a couple minutes ago, one of my producers like, hey guys, we're at the hour 20 mark, and we had no idea.
No idea.
So now that we're in the back half of this episode, I have some rapid fire questions I want to shoot at you.
Sure.
So the first one is, who's someone you think is a great dad, and what's one aspect you admire about him?
I have a friend named Alex who also goes to Mosaic South Pass. And I really admire him because he brings his kids and his family into his mission. So he works for a church-based organization that pretty much tries to take Jesus to Asia. And this most recent trip to Malaysia, he took his oldest daughter and just said, hey, this is what dad does. And I love the connection that he has. We meet quite often as families, so I love seeing his presence and around the home and seeing his kids react to him in a way that is playful, healthy, vibrant, and I love that about him.
It's so true. We know that family, and they're so kind, and it's another aspect of integration. Like, he's a great dad, he's a great husband, he's a great worker. I feel like there is that wholeness there.
Yes, love him. And for you, what about you? Is there a dad that you see that you really admire?
So I think of growing up, and the first one that actually comes to mind is Mariah's dad, Erwin, which is ironic because he's like the pastor of our church, but the majority I've known him is just as Mariah's dad.
That's right.
I had no idea what he did. Like, truly, I was like, oh, he's, speaks and pastor something. But when I would come in town, it was just, that's Mariah's parents. And that was, his mom her mom would take me over for bagels, and her dad would hang, and they'd take me on trips. But their relationship was so connected. Like, she was like, my dad's my best friend. Like, I would hear it from her perspective.
Love that.
It's like, oh, my dad, like, yeah, we're just like 2 peas in a pod. Or like, I love hanging out with my dad. And so that to me is like the aspect of a girl to dad relationship.
Oh. That's great. Oh
I think that's a really tender one.
And that's a rare perspective to have of Pastor Erwin as not this renowned speaker / author. It was just Mariah's dad.
That's, to me, in my head.
That was great.
That's always how I picture it. And that's the biggest ministry to me. Like, I know he's done so much in the world, but my unique, specific perspective for the last, 20 years almost is, that's just Mariah's dad.
I love that.
And she speaks so highly of him.
It's huge. Rapid fire question. From a wife's perspective, who do you think is a good husband, and what is it about them that you admire so much?
So the first one that comes to mind is actually a mutual friend. It's Carlos. I think he's a great husband. And I remember one time, they were both on tour, and I remember Aaron, I'm like, oh, he's focused. He'll call when it's the right time. He's just super busy, So then I go and visit them on tour, and they're rehearsing on stage, and Carlos just starts FaceTiming Zoti. And I just remember being like, that's so unprofessional, and I'm so jealous. You have a disregard for everyone else. You just want to talk to your wife. And I was also like, why not? And then I think about the last night we did at the Hollywood campus, Holy Spirit. He's kind of the why not person. He walked over to his kids and he put the mic for his kids. And then he touched, there's a video of him touching their face, and it feels such like a Latin dad. It was such a Latin dad way to touch them. I think he's a good husband because he's a good dad, but also with Zoti, they have a formidable relationship. And they were a relationship before kids, and they feel like their partnership isn't revolved around their kids, even though they're an integrated family. And I would say he's a good husband also from the way Zoti speaks about him. Because, from the outside, he may look great, but I don't know what's happening behind closed doors.
Yeah.
But from her perspective, what she shares, the flowers for the living that she gives to him, and the accolades and the encouragement lets me know, oh my gosh, it's the real deal. It's there. It's exactly what it looks like from me, And so when I think about good husband, that's the example too, because I was like, Aaron's a great husband, but I was like, what's one way that maybe someone's done something that I thought, oh, I wish Aaron would. And it totally is that where I'm like, I want you to be unprofessional on my behalf because you just can't wait to FaceTime me. And you just have to do it live during rehearsal.
Love that. Oh my gosh.
Okay. What's an intentional way you connect with your daughter?
Whenever we hug, I'm never the first one to let go. And she really responds to that. And there are times where it's only for a second. And there's times where it's a couple minutes long. And what that tells her is that moment where we're hugging is the most important moment for me at that time. Nothing else matters. And I can tell you that because one morning when she was just waking up and she hugged me, I was making their breakfast. And she hugged me for about a couple minutes. And the eggs were literally smoking yes, they were smoking on the pan. And then I was like, okay, I still have whatever. I just had to make new eggs and, wash a pan. But and she realized it at the end. She goes, oh my gosh, did you have to make new eggs? I said, yes, but it's okay. You're worth it.
It's okay. You're worth it. Anyone with daddy issues is crying. Okay. What's one way that you intentionally connect with your son?
So this is something that is specific to him. Whenever Hudson chooses to hold my hand, whether it's in public or at home or in the movie theater, whatever, anytime he chooses to hold me, not when I am holding his hand, when he chooses to grab onto me, I take a picture of it. And I just like a quick snap of my phone of just our hands. And that's my personal collection with Hudson. And in my external hard drive, in a folder, I just have literally hundreds of these pictures going back because it just shows me that it's just a reminder of each time that he chooses to hold my hand, that he's trusting me, that he is okay with our physical touch, and that he's coming to me for that reassurance, whether it's safety. Sometimes he comes to me when there's just a lot going on and he's overwhelmed. He'll just come to me and then hold my hand. But I love that. Those are small reminders of just our special connection.
What's one way you intentionally connect as a family?
As a family, what we found important is that we try to create family traditions. And so one of our favorite family traditions is a gratitude jar. Throughout the year, we just cut out small strips of paper, and whenever anyone wants to, there's no designated time to do this. Whenever you feel thankful for something, you just simply write it down, and then you crumple it up and you put it in the jar. And every New Year's Eve, we will go through the jar and then just read off each one and then throw it into the fire that we have. We make a bonfire, we'll read each one, then we throw it in the fire. That's been like 4 years now going, and it's been really great to just look back and see how God has been blessing us with just moments of connection, with really profound, special times, whether it's Hudson scored the game-winning basket, or Parker sang incredibly in the lead role, or in this case, Christine opening up her own dental practice. Just these are times that we will be able to look back at the end of the year and just be really thankful for.
Haven, what's the best part about a fight?
Winning.
Winning?
No, I'm kidding. You don't really win in marital fights.
You can win. I think when you come together in the right way, maybe what you thought was winning isn't winning at all.
I think I know your answer to what your favorite thing about a fight is.
Make up sex afterward?
Okay, maybe I didn't. Anyways, we have created a course called How to Fight better. It's under our umbrella of Pillow Talk, which is about just conversations that you can have with your spouse. We brought in our actual marriage counselor of 12 years, Dr. Jonathan Cood, to help us and explain the tools that he's been teaching us that have helped us have what we feel like is a really thriving, enjoyable marriage, and one that we're proud of. And so we were like, how can we share these experiences, but also the professional person who taught us how to do this with the world? So you can go to joinpillowtalk.com right now to get how to fight better. Okay, back to the episode. Do you think you're a good dad?
When I hear that question, there's a lot of ways to think, but for me, it's not a destination. It's not a result. It is a journey and a process always. And so the checkpoint for me is I've turned good into an acronym. And so these are 4 questions that I ask myself. So first one is, am I generous with my time, with my kids and my wife? Am I generous with my patience? Am I generous with all the things, attention, intention, physical presence? Am I generous? The next question I ask myself is, am I obedient? Am I obedient to the teachings of Jesus? Am I reflecting the fruit of the Spirit in a way that is honoring of God? Is my life filled with love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, all the things? And am I striving to do that? And then the third question is, am I observant? Am I observant to the current pulse of my family? Things change all the time. And am I on top of those changes? Do I notice when Parker has had a good day because she sings in the shower when she has a good day? Do I notice that Hudson will go off and just play basketball on his own because he wants to get better, and without me having to pressure him or anything, just on his own? And so am I observant of these things? Am I noticing that Christine is really trying to push for physical strength and wanting to just be stronger, and with this new endeavor to be able to handle all the pressures? So am I on the pulse of what's going on in my family, in my home? And then lastly, am I displaying a life that is appealing and attractive to my kids? Am I living in a way that they would want to live as well? And am I putting them in a deficit, or hopefully into a higher platform of a foundation of what is acceptable in their future spouse? Whether it's husband for Parker, wife, to be a good husband, for Hudson to his wife.
And you just made that up?
I thought about it.
No, I mean, like, out of nowhere, you're like, how am I going to define my fatherhood?
Yes.
When did you do that, and why?
I've been thinking about it for a while, because I'd say I thought of that maybe within the past couple weeks. And because now I'm really starting to have a desire to help dads try to, whether they need to build new habits or whether they're trying to strengthen connections with their kids. I was trying to think of what is something that you can ask in the moment or in the season that will just give you good, solid reality checks. And I think those 4 questions help, because then if you're attentive to those 4 questions, and if you're honest with yourself and you can say yes, then I think you are a good dad.
I think it's such a beautiful way to like really have checkpoints too. Mm-hmm. It's not just like some vague yes or no.
Correct.
And that's what I loved about you sharing, because I was like, that to me at the very, very top, we're like, what is it? Is it just not yelling and being there, or it's exactly, am I generous? And am I observing? And like all of that comes together. And I think it's a really great way to also be like a self-assessment of what do I need to kind of tune up or be aware of. It is a journey, because maybe the answer is different in each season too.
Correct.
Wow, I love that. And as you were talking, I was thinking so much of like, you agreed to this because we went to a conference about dreams. And we were talking, I was like, what's your dream? And you said it's to help fathers and it's to help dads. And it's such a natural like iteration of who you are. It's coming out of who you are. And yet you would never like force into this. You've been like texting like, I'm going to do it. I'm excited. I'm going to do it. But I had zero questions. Because I was like, if you can just share about yourself, that's going to be it. And it's why I like having real people on this couch that I know. You know, so many people, I'll get random emails. Can we have this person guest on your podcast or whatever? And those people can go on to anything else. I'm going to vouch for someone on my couch. I'm going to say that you have something to share that I've like actually observed and that I've been able to see, and it's real. And if I'm going to have someone here, it's because I trust it enough and I think it's valuable to my listeners.
Wow.
And you've absolutely like lived it. And I'm so glad that you're bringing it even outside of yourself. Like you're helping other dads. Like that to me is such an impact. And you're so humble. I know it's even weird for me just to gas you up for like 5 minutes while you're just sitting here listening. But I mean it so much of like, I was telling you, one of my dreams is to elevate a picture of health in this day and age. You know, we don't see it a lot. Most of the grabby stuff is super dysfunctional.
Correct.
And I was like, I want to elevate the people that wouldn't elevate themselves, that wouldn't, you know, try and get into this position. I'm like, but I'm fortunate enough to know a lot. And I'm like, I want the world to have even a taste of something better, a taste of something real, hearing that it's possible. You know, and I know it's taken a lot of your journey to get there. So we're looking at something that's years in the making that took a lot of dedication. Yeah. But also it's something to celebrate. And I'm so, so glad that you came on. And I'm going to ask you with everyone listening, will you come on again one day? You got to commit. Don't give me his maybe.
Oh my gosh. Yes. I would love to, Haven. This has been such a wonderful conversation. And I am so thankful that you have seen something in me that is worth sitting on this couch and having a conversation about. Like you said, taking compliment is something that I try to shy away from. And I am just so honored that you would see that in me. And so as I'm on this journey, it's very early in the process, but as I'm on this journey to try to coach and mentor dads on building that connection with their family and really having a family that thrives beyond provision, like reestablishing what provision looks like. I think that is, I'm so honored that you would have me on.
If someone had a follow-up question or wanted to reach out to you in some way, is there any way they could do that?
Yeah, so I am on Instagram. I was on private for a long time, but now I feel like it's necessary to at least be public for a little bit. So I am on Instagram, AI Aquino, Aquino.
Okay, we'll put it as the tag handle on the bottom. If you're catching this at the right time.
Yes.
Watch, he may switch back to private on you. In that case, you can email hello@havenpod.com, and I'm going to forward it his way. But he said for now, so you know, if you're listening to this past the year 2025, watch out. He went back into hiding. Thanks for coming on here with us.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
It was really, really fun. So this was unintentionally a 2-part episode. So this is the second part of a conversation about fatherhood. And we didn't realize how long it was going, but I just couldn't stop. I was so enthralled. I was so in the moment. And so that's why I know that I want to have him back. I also want Christine on here because she's impacted my motherhood. And so maybe you'll get to hear one day from her after she's opened her business because she doesn't have a lot of free time. I'm sure she would say yes because she's so nice, but I want to wait. She's really busy for her right now. But thank you for listening. You can go to @Haven the Podcast. That's all of my social handles of Instagram, TikTok, YouTube Shorts. You can follow this long form. If you're already listening, then you know how to get it. I think it's funny that I say this each time because I'm like, you're already here. What more can I ask of you? But you could go to let's see, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and subscribe, because then when new episodes are coming up, you can at least be locked in. They'll be automatically in your queue. And I appreciate you coming on this journey, and I'll see you next time.